Well, hello and welcome to the Chamber Corner, and we are getting ready to have our annual meeting. This is Ashley Lawrence. She's one of our board members. Ashley, tell them what we're getting ready to do.
Tonight, we're about to have our 42nd annual chamber meeting. Our theme is Building a Better Chamber Community. This is our program, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun, so we hope you'll stick around, and maybe you'll learn something about the Smith County Chamber of Commerce and the other area that's around here. See ya. Laura Piper is a lifelong resident of Smith County, is the daughter of Jeanette and Edward Massey, and is married to Mike Piper. They have two daughters, Amanda and Leah Piper. Laura graduated from Smith County High School and then attended MTSU to get her degree in finance. After graduating from MTSU, she started her career in banking. Laura also graduated from the Southern School of Banking and School of Banking at LSU. She is currently employed at Wilson Bank and Trust and for the past 20 years. Laura completed the adult leadership class in 2000, and this was the second adult leadership class in Smith County. Their class project was to set up the youth leadership program. She has served as treasurer since the youth leadership program began in 2001. Laura was one of the key people to help get the Smith County Fair back started again and in Smith County, and serves on the board and is the secretary treasurer of that group. Laura is also on the board of the Smith County Help Center and has been a past secretary and treasurer of the Volunteer Ranch Horse Association. Laura attends Peyton Creek Baptist Church, where she's also the church secretary and teaches Sunday school. Laura is a very busy lady. Would you give her a hand? Laura, would you come to the stage? And I've worked with this lady on youth leadership. She has saved me several times. And so it's with great pleasure that I give you this award. And the only thing I have to say, your speech needs to be less than 5 minutes.
Thank you. It'll be a lot less than 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, I have the honor tonight to give the Outstanding Community Service Award to Mr. Michael Collins, Judge Michael Collins, Honorable Judge Michael Collins. Mr. Collins, born and raised in Carthage, Tennessee. His mother was the late Cindy Gilbert Collins. His father is Mr. Harold Slick Collins, which is, I would ask y'all to continue to remember him in your prayers. And his stepmother is Miss Wanda Collins. His wife is Celicia Collins, and she teaches special education at Carthage Elementary. They have two children, Case, which is 8 years old, and Lucy, which is 4. Case has had type 1 diabetes for over 7 years, and Lucy has type 1 diabetes for 2 years. His family attends First Baptist Church, where he serves as deacon. He graduated Smith County High School 8th in his class. He played football, basketball, and baseball, all mid-state in football, all state and district MVP in basketball. Graduated from MTSU, magna cum laude, and with a BS in Criminal Justice Administration. Graduated from the University of Memphis in 2001 and came back home to Smith County to open his law practice. He practiced law for 15 years as a solo practitioner, and he just now going to partner with Robin Moore, and they will serve Smith County through their firm, Collins and Moore. And he was elected and served on the school board, where he further elected as the chairman of the Smith County School Board, and he was elected as General Sessions Judge in Smith County in August of 2014. And he has started the first recovery court in the judicial district. He started and is now enabling a group led by pastors in our county to serve those with cases in General Sessions Court. If y'all wonder why it was hard for me to read that, because it's written like you wrote it, and I had to insert all that. So I apologize, Mr. Collins. I'd just like to add a little bit to, Mr. Collins. Of course, I've known Judge Collins for a long time. One thing that impressed me, and I'm not ashamed to tell it, and I don't think he is either, when he was running for office, I still remember something he said. I believe it was at the Rotary Club Pancake Breakfast side of the Chamber of Commerce when he was running. And of course, he is concerned about the people in this county. I can tell you that. But one thing he said that day I was talking to him, he said, I believe, talking about him, if people come to know Jesus, it will change their lives. And I've never heard, and probably never will hear, another judge say that. I have told that story more times than you can count on. And I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to call you my friend. And I would just like y'all to join me in welcoming and presenting this award as a Community Service Award to Judge Michael Collins.
Well, thank you. I am honored to get the award. And Ms. Laura, I know you were short, but I talk a lot. Mayor, he's long-winded, but I am too. Typically in court, people don't stop me, so y'all feel free to calm me down if you need to. But I'm honored to get this award. I'm honored to live in our county. I'm honored to serve as judge. When I think about community service, it's just been kind of a thing in my family. My mother, she passed when I was very young, but I still think back to a newspaper clipping that I saw where she was Woman of the Year, and I don't even know what kind of civic group gave it to her, but I was just so proud that she had got that. If I was going to get an award for community service, I don't even know if I'd be in the top 3 at a family reunion. My dad, Harold Collins, Slick Collins, he's volunteered for over 30 years in the youth sports around here. My cousin Terry Collins, I think this year is 30 years for him and all the things he's done. So they would probably tell me that they would get this award before me, but I'm honored that I'm chosen. I do want to take this opportunity to all the folks here, all the business leaders, all the folks interested in our county. I urge you to get involved in what we're doing in our court system. I tell people every day that I tell them in court. I give a speech every day. I tell them if I'm putting you in jail, I'm not doing it because I'm mad at you. It's actually opposite. I care about you, and I believe that's going to be the best thing for you. I'm bound to follow the law. I have to do that. But I also have to protect the community and help folks, and I feel like sometimes putting them in jail is helping them. We do have several programs. We're proud of those. We've got a recovery court. A lot of the problems in the justice system relate to alcohol and drugs. A further problem, like Mayor mentioned, is a lack of relationship with the Lord. And we try to push that in several different ways, but you can't make somebody want to seek Jesus. You can't make somebody want to get off drugs either. But we've got a recovery court, and we offer them an opportunity. It saves the county money by not requiring them to be in jail, but also, too, we're giving them the tools to deal with their addiction and live sober, to live in recovery. So anybody who wants to be a part of that, I welcome folks from our county. I welcome folks from the community, because the more people that help, the more likely we are to have an effect. We also have a pastor group. The pastor group is led by pastors. It's not just pastors, it's folks from their church. And what we do is these folks want to help, but they don't know how. So I open up the court to them. I've got some funds through the county, and we buy breakfast. This morning we had a breakfast for all those that are in court. All they have to do is go over here to these pastors and the folks from their churches and just eat. I mean, there's no requirements, but these folks from the churches, they just want to help. They want to figure out how they want to help. So if you would be interested in that, if you're a pastor or if somebody from your church would want to be interested in that, we are always looking to involve more and more of the community. A lot of what we do in our court system, you don't want to know about. And I honestly didn't want to know about it until I became judge. But there's so many things that you as a person, a caring community member can help with. I've told Mr. Colby I'd be glad if Smith County Insider could show court so more people could see what's going on. But thank you for this award. I appreciate it, and I urge more of you, please, if you're interested in helping, contact me, and I welcome that. So thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to present the Commitment to Excellence Award. The recipient of this award is no stranger to the Commitment to Excellence. He puts his best foot forward in everything that he does. I've had the honor to know this gentleman probably 30-plus years, worked with him probably as many years in similar circles and in similar industries. Mr. George McDonald he's a full-time farmer. He's been farming since 1978, since he graduated high school. He's been on the family operation, includes 5,000 acres. He raises corn, beans, soybeans, strawberries, watermelons. He farms in roughly 5 counties: Davidson County, Smith County, Trouser County, and Wilson counties. He's been using GPS and GIS technologies, probably ahead of his time, at least in this county, since 1996, utilizing the grid soil mapping, variable rate, control of fertilizer for all his inputs, spraying, harvesting. Following graduation at Smith County High School, he was in partnership with his father, Mr. Sam, until his death in 1999. Presently, he's the sole proprietorship of Catisa Farms, LLC. The operation has grown approximately 18% per year for the last 5 years. The operation includes 6 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees, in addition to his wife, Susan, and his mother, Miss Linda. Just a few of his accomplishments. He is a past president of Smith County Chamber of Commerce. He's past president of Smith County Co-op Board of Directors. He is a current board member of directors for Citizens Bank in Carthage. He's a member of Tennessee Farm Bureau Federation Board of Directors from 1995 to year 2000. He's a past president and board member of Smith County Farm Bureau since 1985 and to present. He's also a member of Carthage United Methodist Church. Has two daughters, Celia, 29, and Sarah, age 26, and Logan, 25, and Neely is 24. I present to you the commitment of excellence to Mr. George McDonald. Also, as of today, this morning, he's called the Strawberry Man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, nobody really cares about how everything else is going. They want to know, are the strawberries ready yet? It is with great honor to be recognized among your own peers and in your own county. And I certainly appreciate this from the chamber. When Bill called me about it, I said, there's so many more people deserving than I. And I truly mean that. But one thing that really makes me proud too is that accepting this award is not just for George McDonald. It's for my family, some of them with me tonight. It's for the employees who work with me. It's for that tradition of farming that's been in my family. And it's not just our family, but it's agriculture in this county. It's the industry that too often gets overlooked about the importance that it plays in this state. According to the Tennessee Department of Ag, every dollar that goes out of our farm generates $7 for this county, for this community. So it makes me swell with pride knowing that I'm part of that industry. It makes me extremely proud to be in part of this chamber, to be a supporter of the leadership of Smith County. I also support other counties around too in their leadership programs and speak to them and presenting the story of agriculture and what it means. Those of you who have heard me speak about agriculture before, I'll always leave you with a comment. When there's plenty of food, there's lots of problems. When there's no food, there's one problem. Thank you.
Shouldn't sit in the back. That's a long walk. It's truly my honor tonight to introduce this year's Perpetual Memorial Plaque recipient. This year's recipient was born on Fight Avenue in November of 1933 to the parents of Gene Radford Oldham and Ida Beasley Oldham. He ran a paper route as a child while attending grade school in Carthage, where he later graduated from Smith County High School in 1952. Upon graduating high school, he joined the Carthage Fire Department, whom he honorably served for the rest of his life. In 1955, he married Miss Robbie Bowes. They raised two children and 2 grandchildren, and one of those grandchildren I'm very partial to. Together they ran Robbie's Catering for over 30 years, and he passed away 1 year to the day of retiring. He served for many years as both the Carthage City Councilman and Smith County Justice of the Peace. He was a member of the Shriners and the Masons Benevolent Lodge number 14. He was a proud member of the Democratic Party who knew how to reach across the aisle to get things done for the betterment of our community. No matter what your beliefs or your backgrounds, he was a friend to everyone. An example of that was at his funeral, where he had 3 different preachers from 3 different denominations. Just a few weeks before his death, he told my wife and I he wanted to make sure he had his bases covered. In 1955, he joined North Carthage Baptist Church and served as a deacon for many, many years. And last but definitely not least, he achieved 74 straight years of Sunday school perfect attendance. And you may think I said that wrong, so I'm going to read it one more time. He achieved 74 straight years of Sunday school perfect attendance. And if you really want to see the mark that he left on this community, I encourage you all to come to North Carthage every year when they give out perfect attendance medals and see how many kids want to have all those medals just like Mr. Joe. He believed in God, he loved his family, and he loved his hometown of Carthage, Tennessee. He was a pillar of this community that set an example that we all need to follow. And tonight it's my honor and privilege to present this award to the family of Mr. Joe Beasley Oldham.
I've got a piece of paper, that's the plaque. Okay. That's good. That's the plaque, it'll stay here.
Okay.
Show you this paper. Y'all want to say something?
Thank you so much.
Luann, you want to say something?
Thank you, and it's an honor to our family to be given this award tonight. It's been very emotional for us, and we really appreciate it. And he loved his hometown from the time he was a boy till the last day he drawed his last breath. Thank y'all so much.
It is my honor to present the 2016 Women's Business Leader Award. This year's recipient is Miss Carol Wilmore. She has been a member of the First Baptist Church for 55 years, where she has served as a pianist, a Sunday school teacher, and worked with the youth in the past years, and presently sings in the church choir. She is a graduate of Smith County High School and Drones Business College in Nashville. She served as an advisory board for the UCHRA, volunteered with the Upper Cumberland Medical Resource, a member of the Smith County Backpack Committee, a vice president of Smith County Historical and Genealogy Society. She's also served as a board member for the Relay for Life, the Foster's Children Program, the Imagination Library Board, treasurer of Smith County High School Band Booster, on the board of Upper Cumberland Regional Library, and volunteered at Smith County Memorial Hospital. Ms. Carol is married to Dwayne Wilmore, and they have 3 children, Tim, Leanne Nesbitt, and Meredith Petty. They have 5 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. Carol started working with her father at the age of 13 at the Farmers Commission Company in South Carthage. She worked at several livestock auction markets in Middle Tennessee and tobacco markets for 25 years. She's been employed at Citizens Bank for the past 20 years. Prior to working at the bank, she and her husband were co-owners of Coffee County Livestock Market and the WW Home Supply in South Carthage. Miss Carol's hobbies are reading, gardening, and traveling. Join me in thanking Miss Carol for the devotion for her family, her profession, and her community. She's in the back row. Now we know she does go to the Baptist church, don't we? Sit on the back.
Good job,
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I I've been in the business world for 55 years. Yes, that's a long time. I was talking to one of our customers yesterday, and he was talking about being in his job 35 years. And he said, Miss Carol, how long have you been at Citizens Bank? And I said, 20 years. He says, Miss Carol, that's a long time. Well, I never thought about that. 20 years just seems like, when you've worked 55 years, 20 years is not long. I had some fabulous teachers and mentors in my lifetime. One, Larry, you can relate to this, Mr. Ed Lancaster from the Lancaster community. We would, at the livestock auction markets, we would transfer information from a seller sheet to a check. Do that 12 hours straight in a row, just hard and fast as you could go. And of course you would make some mistakes. Had to balance to the penny when it was over, and we'd go back. Every little thing we would do, not find that mistake. And I would look up at Mr. Ed and I would say, Mr. Ed, it's not there. And he'd say, Carol, liars figure, but figures don't lie. And that was a real education to me, and I'll never forget that. I thank Helen and Walter Glenn for being my mentor. I'm proud of this, thank you, but three things I'm most proud of is that I'm a child of God, that I'm married to a man who's kept me focused and my feet on the ground, and that's not been easy. And I'm proud of my 3 children. Thank you.
My award tonight is the John Carson Maggart Business Leader Award. This gentleman is a dear friend of mine, and it does me great honor to be able to present this award to him. Graduated from Belmont University in 1965, where he majored in business administration and was selected the who's who in American colleges and universities. After graduation, became a full-time partner in D.T. McCall's and Sons. He also graduate of Cumberland Junior College in 1963. That was a great year. That's the year I was born. Just thought I'd throw it out there for you. In 1980, was awarded the highest honor, the Phoenix Award. He served on the Board of Trustees of Belmont University for 12 years, and in 2015 was chosen to represent the decade of the 1960s and the cover of their 125th anniversary publication. In 1999, he was voted Retailer of the Year for the state of Tennessee by the Tennessee Furniture Travelers Association. He is former president of the Smith County Chamber of Commerce, serves on the advisory board of local bank, is a member of the Gideons, and is a deacon of the First Baptist Church. And it's my honor to present this to Mr. John McCall. Thank you, sir.
I don't have any prepared remarks, but I certainly want to thank everybody for this honor. I am blown away by it. It's really a great recognition. I really appreciate it. This is my 55th year as a partner in D.T. McCall and Sons. And my dad told me one time that if you really enjoy what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. That has been the case. I really enjoy what I do, and I was telling Bill tonight that I have so many people come in the store that I get to see on a fairly regular basis. And sometimes they just come in to talk. Sometimes they come in to buy things. But, you know, I really enjoy those relationships. And it's something that you really can't put a price on. And a lot of my customers are more than just customers. They're friends and acquaintances and almost like family. But I appreciate, having been a former president of the chamber, I really appreciate what this man does and what he's had to do this year, and all the staff that's been active this year. I know when I was president, there was 1 or 2 issues that were difficult to deal with, but I had a lot of help and a lot of support from the business community. in this town. One of the things that I was telling Bill about this, that one of the things that we had to do was the phone company tried to put Gordonsville on a different area code and make all the calls long distance. That created a stir. But I had to, I got letters from some of the business leaders and went to the phone company and discussed that with them, and it got to be a sticky issue, but we got it changed. And I just remember that as one of the issues we had to deal with. But they have a tough job, and I tell you, what y'all are doing is so important to this county, and the effort and the position that you have in this county, that what you represent is going to be more important. I don't know if you saw the thing in the paper today about the population growth in Smith County. It's one of the best in the state. So it's really a good place, and I'm sure all of you feel the same way I do about it. I have never wanted to live anywhere else. But I just want to thank everybody for being here, and thank you again, Bill, for what you do.
Okay, I have been asked to present this award to for the let's see, industrial leadership. Okay, for I'm sorry, Industrial Leadership Award. I'm just now getting my paper. This award is going to David DeWidzik, who is an individual who has worked for a major employer in this community for more than 9 years, assisted in providing employment opportunities for hundreds of Smith County residents, and worked in a variety of leadership roles for more than 5 years at the Smith County Chamber of Commerce. He has also represented Smith County for several years as a member of the Investment Board of the Upper Cumberland Human Resource Agency. In addition, this individual has organized numerous fundraising activities that have provided funds for local organizations, as well as fundraising for Relay for Life charity. Please join me and congratulate David DeWidzik on the Industrial Leadership Award. And David, I hope I got your name correct.
I'd like to thank the Chamber for this award. Like Judge Collins, there's plenty of people in this community that are very deserving of this award and do very similar things that I do over here at Bonnell Aluminum. So again, I'd like to thank the Chamber and the folks that gave me this award.
Thank you all for attending this evening. Bill has asked me to give an update on tourism here in Smith County. In Tennessee, we do not have an income tax. Therefore, we rely on tourism for much of our revenue. Some of you may see dollar signs when I say tourism. Some of you, like myself, may cringe a little bit. I used to think of tourism as neon signs, themed putt-putt golf go-karts, outlet malls, restaurants where you pay people to be rude to you, large crowds, etc. I have learned in the last year that tourism is so much more than that. In the last year, Smith County has been ranked number 65 out of the 95 counties in Tennessee. It has generated $11.54 million in direct tourism expenditures. It's generated 50 jobs here in Smith County. It has also produced $1.37 million in payroll related to tourism. It's created $500,000 in local tax revenue and has created $670,000 in state tax revenue. As a result of these taxes generated by tourism in the county, each of us are saving money. Each household is paying $161.09 less in local and state taxes. They pay $68.84 less in local county taxes, and they are paying $92.24 less in state taxes. So enough with the figures. Here's what's been going on in Smith County. Commissioner Triplett visited us earlier this year. He's traveled the entire state at this point. He's been to all 95 counties. He has seen what's going on in each individual county, and he has found that every county has something special to offer for Tennessee. He thinks that every place is unique in its own way. And so here's what we have talked about with Smith County. Last year, our big event in the fall, the William Walton Harvest Festival, celebrated its 3rd year and had the most in attendance this far. The day started with rain, but we ended up with over 30 vendors, one of which has recently opened a business in our downtown. And we've had multiple reenactors and demonstrators on the courthouse square to preserve the heritage of the area. This was our first year to include the Happy Days Corner and Tractor Show, both of which were extremely small, but are going to grow in the next few years. And we ended the day with our first Harvest Queen beauty pageant. We have made it a goal with our chamber events to donate a portion of proceeds into the community. We've been able to donate to the Habitat for Humanity and the 4-H group here in the county. The Harvest Festival was a good success, but Christmas was a bit of a bust. I blame that on Billy Woodard. He didn't put a Christmas tree on the courthouse square, so I think that brought us some bad luck. We were rained out for Hometown Christmas and the parade, but we've learned some lessons from that. We did the parade the next week, and we held the Polar Express twice for Shelby Manus to be able to run. The parade has grown each year, and it's been extremely wonderful to see people out in the downtown again. Another generator in that downtown area has been our Fine Arts Center, which Mr. Bill Reese has taken underhand, and he has done a fantastic job. They did their I'll Be Home for Christmas play at Christmas, and they are doing Smoke on the Mountain in the next 2 weeks, so make sure you go out and see that. This year, also, Granville has hosted the first Upper Cumberland Wine Festival. They had over 800 people tasting wine from local wineries, including Cellar 53 out of Brush Creek. And this, I'm sure, will be an event that continues in the area, along with many others in Granville. More importantly, or most importantly for me anyways, is the landscape of Smith County. I realized while I was at MTSU that I was driving an hour home to be outside, and I so badly wanted to get out of Smith County at the time, but realized I was coming home so much, so I actually ended up moving back. I found myself hiking, going to Defeated Campground, and realizing all of this stuff was right under my nose for so many years. Each year, the Defeated Creek Campground remains packed with visitors. They host their Bluegrass Festival each year, and the campground is actually nestled right next to the Bearwaller Gap. If you're interested in a not so easy hike, that's a good one to start with. And it is also right next to the Cordo Hole Lake. Some of the most popular tourism is kayaking on the Caney, which this is kind of twofold, but from April to October, you can't really drive by the Caney without seeing people floating along the river. These people visit from all over the state, even other states come to visit and kayak here on the Caney. Also on the Caney, if you wake up early enough, you will see fishermen wading into the water in hopes of catching some trout. It's becoming more popular as well. Along the Caney here in Carthage, some of you have probably seen the Carthage Junction Depot. It has been a slow process, but we have been working on it. It is going to eventually be a train museum and an art gallery and an accessory structure that will be able to rent out kayaks and canoes. So that area will also help with the Caney tourism. The county has applied for a tourism grant actually to help with the train depot, and the depot committee has received an arts commission grant that will help with the gallery. And the county is constantly preserving the natural and historic assets of this area. We have seen that with the depot project and with the courthouse, converting it into a theater. The Rome Ferry is currently under design to be restored as well. And we've also seen much revitalization in our downtown with the Tennessee Downtowns Grant for Carthage. It was funded last year. You can probably notice the landscaping, signage, and benches that are in downtown Carthage now. We've had at least 4 new businesses opening within, I think, the last 6 months. So we have definitely seen some revitalization in the area that is also a tourism draw. So in closing, Smith County may not be Gatlinburg, it may not be Nashville, and it may not be Chattanooga, but we are a place of respite for everyone who wants to escape those cities. When you're looking out across the pastures and watching the fog roll over the Caney, or gazing into the summer night sky, or even shopping in your downtown district, just remember that they will never have what we have.
Yes, I'm back at the mic. That's a bad thing, isn't it, Michael? I heard that. One thing I would like to do, Bill Woodard recognized a lot of people that were here. Bill Woodard also serves as county commissioner for Smith County, and I'd like to recognize him in that form, if it would, tonight. Mr. Bill Woodard, he makes a good commissioner. How many years have you been commissioner? 16 years. He does a good job as our Chamber of Commerce director. Also, comment that Judge Collins made concerning recovery court. When he asked people to be involved, I think he really meant that. And one way that you could possibly be involved, of course, I went to Judge Collins asked me to go to Lebanon to see their recovery court. And I was very impressed with what I saw there. And I'm really impressed with what's going on here in Smith County. But I committed to him as a county mayor, if I had a job opening, I would try to employ some of the people that come through the recovery court. And we have actually recently employed a young man in the maintenance department, and he came highly recommended. This is a great program. They get no rest, they get no ease. They can be checked at any point in time, and there's a lot of things that they do within this that helps them to become better people. And the gentleman that's working for us is doing a great job. And so I encourage you as employers to get involved with the judge. And I don't think they'll recommend somebody that would not make you a good employer. And Bill Woodard mentioned something about, somebody mentioned here about things to do in Smith County. Tomorrow night, Saturday night and Sunday night, there's going to be a gospel singing here in the Ag Center. And so it's a 3-day event. The reason I mentioned that, Mr. Poindexter is here tonight. I saw him somewhere. And according to Jonathan Wilburn today, they've almost filled the hotel up, and so they got a lot of guests there. And when those people come to Smith County, come to Carthage, Gordon, wherever they might come, they spend money. A 3-day event is a big deal, and if they're staying here, they're spending a lot of money. But just to give you an idea, on Monday night, it's the Wilburns, the Inspirations. Saturday night, the McCameys and the Wilburns and Elaine Wilburn, and then Sunday, the Primitive Quartet and Wilburn and Wilburn. And I just want you to know, you can't just go anywhere and see that kind of gospel singing. You have to go to Gatlinburg, or you have to go to other places to be able to see that. But because Jonathan and his family are from Smith County, they want to make sure that that stays alive here. So just invite you out to come to that. And to my part, make this short and sweet. Just a few things as far as economic development is concerned here in Smith County. There have been a few things that we've hit a few bumps in the road this year. I think everybody here knows that, of course, the zinc mine closed down in December. But we reacted to that very well, I feel like, with help from the Chamber of Commerce and other people that we put on a job fair. We had somewhere in the neighborhood during that job fair, I'll make myself some notes here, we had about 220 people that were here present that day at the job fair, and we had several employers that were here that day. There were 25 employers and 220 people in attendance that day. I want to tell you, as the mayor, of course, I get asked a lot, where's that new industry? They're not hardly as easy as you might think that they would come by, but I want to tell you for a fact, and David is here tonight and other employers are here, employers in Smith County are having trouble finding workers now. Because of several factors. One of them is not being able to pass a drug test. I think everybody should know if you're going to go apply for a job, you don't need to be doing drugs. And in life, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. But that's number one problem, not just in Smith County, but in the state of Tennessee and in the United States of America. So there are a lot of jobs that are available. You can find a job. I guarantee you, if you want to work, come see me and I'll find you a job. The problem is there's some people that probably don't want to work. But, with that being said, those people that were working at the mine, they were making $15 to $25 an hour, and now the jobs that they're looking for, no doubt, are between $12 to $15 an hour. But there are jobs that are available, so I want everybody to know that. But with that being said, Our unemployment rate last year, March of 2015, was 6.5% in Smith County, Tennessee. In March of 2016, it's 4.3%. That means there's 380 people that are unemployed. And so we're not doing so bad. It's 2.2% difference. And another positive as far as economic development is concerned, what we have seen is a boom when it comes to building permits in Smith County. Y'all saw the article in the paper this week concerned we were in the top 10 of fastest growing population in the state of Tennessee. I want to just give you some figures. 2010-11, there were 39 building permits sold in Smith County. In 2016, we've already sold 80, and we still have 2 months to go. So that's a big difference in 1 year. In Smith County, that's a big deal. Because every time somebody builds a house, you're not going to build a house much cheaper than about $200,000, and then they go on up to $1 million. So it does add to our tax base, so it helps us with that. Another thing we've noticed in our sales tax base, in 2009, from January to December, we collected $3.5 million in sales tax revenue. In 2015, we collected $4.4 million. That's a difference of $878,522. If you saw on Virginia's slide, I think it was about $11 million. It might have, I think it equaled to about $500,000 in sales tax. Well, $878,000 relates to double that or maybe even triple that. It could get over $25 million to $30 million in additional sales since 2009 that we're seeing in Smith County. That's a big deal. Whenever you see that your building permits are going up and your sales tax is going up, that tells you that you're doing something in Smith County, and that's not just me. That's other people that are involved with this that are doing things that are helping our county. Another thing that you may be interested in, because I know I hear a lot of complaints about this, anybody like paying their wheel tax? I don't see nobody raising their hand. You like paying that? It's better than property tax. I hear that a lot. I just want to tell you, we made some moves. When I say we, the county commission, myself, we did some refunding of some bonds this year. We had an amount of $8,930,000 we still owed on the school bonds, where we rebuilt 2 high schools. They actually built new high schools, rebuilt a lot of schools out in the county. I believe we originally borrowed $22 million, $23 million, something like that. And we'd gotten it paid down to this amount. Well, we weren't scheduled to pay this off to 2021 because that we were able to refund these bonds. We did this with a company called Cumberland Securities. We were able to save $908,977, almost $1 million by, and honestly, all I done was took it to the county commission. They voted yes, and the man prepared the paperwork, and I signed it. So that's how easy it was. He worried me to death about getting it done. At first, I wasn't real sure about it, but I'd done some checking on him, and he was real, and he'd done some work like this in other counties. So $908,000. Well, you might say, well, what difference does that really make? Well, our original payoff date was 2021. Our new estimated payoff date, somewhere between 2018 and 2019. I really hope it's 2018 because that's election year. That'd be a good thing for that to happen, wouldn't it? But we may not make it to 2019. But what happens when this is paid off? When the county commission, in their wisdom, when they passed the resolution to borrow this money, in that resolution it said when in 2021 that the $50 wheel tax will come off, or when debt is retired. So as soon as the debt is retired, the $50 wheel tax comes off. So if we can pay that off in 2018, 2019, it's going to be cheaper to to register your car. And how can that be done? Well, we have approximately $3 million. Joey's here. I think we've got about $3.2 million that's in the account at the end of the year. We're saving about $500,000 a year, and then the scheduled payment of $1.6 million each year, so we should be able to pay it off somewhere around 2018, 2019. Also, along with that, we had to get a bond rating. Smith County had a bond rating. Pretty much we had to pay for that, and I don't know how real accurate that was when you have to pay for that. But when we got our rebond issue, we had they give us, Standard & Poor's give us an A+ stable rating, which is a very good rating. Then we turned around and refunded our jail and courts facility note, which we borrowed $10 million to do that, and we were working on paying it off. We refinanced $9,215,000. We were on a fluctuating note that would have been a floor of 2.9%, a high of 5.9%. And this gives you any kind of idea. If interest rate went up to 4%, we are saving $981,000 on that note. But on top of that, we had to get another bond rating. Standard & Poor's, we had to do a new bond rating, and we got a AA negative stable, which is even a step up even further. And when that happened, you might say, well, that's not that big a deal. Just a few months ago, we got a letter from Upcoming Electric, and I know, Digger, you're serving on the board there, and it was actually an order basically from TVA that they had to start charging deposits for county governments and city governments, just like, and we never had been paying deposits. Well, that deposit was going to amount to $268,000. Well, if we'd given that deposit, that would have been money we'd have wrote out of the county general fund that we would have never gotten back unless we sold Smith County, and I don't think that's going to happen. We wouldn't have went out of business, we wouldn't have got that money back. But one of the other ways that we could satisfy this requirement is if we had an A or better bond rating. So with our bond rating of a AA negative, we were able to not have to give $268,000. So essentially, you could say in the last year, we've saved about $2.2 million just in shuffling a little paperwork. So I thought those were all good things.
My husband says if you're the last presentation, you better be brief and be gone because they're ready to go home. So I'm going to be fast. Mayor Nesbitt has said a lot of what I'm about to say. Mr. Woodard called and asked if I would talk about Career Day a little bit, and I'm happy to do that because that was a very, very successful event for our school system. In addition to Career Fair, we also work with the county on other opportunities for our students. Youth leadership is one of those, and that's an excellent opportunity for students. We also did work with the Drug Coalition on lots of different things. We did a drug-free workplace, right, training through them, but they work with our students as well. And we also use lots of businesses in the community for our students to do work-based learning training, and we really appreciate all that you do for our students. When we began talking about a career day, this was something that I really wanted to do, and it was important to me. When I was in the classroom, I was a family and consumer science teacher, or what many of you knew as home ec, and we talked about careers and things that were out there, and so many of our students, as they said, they don't really know how to shake your hand, and they don't know how to go through an interview process, and they can't pass a drug screen, and they can't go to work on time, and they don't want to show up, and so this was important to me because I wanted our students to be ready for industry. When they leave our schools, I want them to be ready. And so I was talking about this at my mom's at the kitchen table on Sunday, on a Sunday about Career Day and what I wanted to do. And my sister is a principal, an elementary principal in the county, so we started talking about Career Day and why it was important. And some of the reasons we wanted to do this, because we thought it was important, was to expose our students to available options and resources. Some of our students think if there's college or nothing. And we wanted them to see that there are other options out there. There's the military, there's the TCAT centers, there's industry. But we also wanted them to know that there are colleges out there that they can get into, not just the 3 or 4 that we all know. And we also wanted our students to be introduced to possible future employers, and for future employers to be introduced to possible employees. A student can make a very good impression in one of those, in a setting like that, and come back to you later and want a job, and you remember meeting them, and they remember meeting you. And so I wanted that for our students as well. And then I also wanted industry in Smith County to be able to share their vision with our students and what Smith County has to offer. I think sometimes our students don't know what's out there because we don't have an opportunity to tell them. And so the one thing that was important in doing this, well, and my sister, as we were talking, I said, I'm going to do this 9th through 12th grade. And Miranda said, why can't we do it 7th and 8th grade? And I said, we have to start somewhere. And she said, well, in 8th grade, in 9th grade, they have to choose a focus. And she said, I'm a principal of an elementary school, and I can't help my 8th graders choose a focus because I don't even know what focuses are available. She said, that's a total high school thing, and I would like for us to be able to help our 7th and 8th graders, when they get ready to go to high school, choose their focus and know what the focus is and know what route they want to take. And so she said, if you will include my 7th and 8th grade, I will pay for the bus to get them out there. So I got to thinking, well, I don't want 1 7th and 8th grade to get to do it, not everyone. So I went to Mr. Smith and I said, can we do this 7th through 12th grade? And he was like, that's going to be if you think we can do it. And I said, I think we can do it. So he was good, and the bus garage agreed to bus him in, and we kind of, like Mr. Nesbitt said, when you get school people together, we're going to make it work some way. And so we decided at that point we would do a career day in 7th through 12th grade. And it was important to me that we included and we partnered with the mayor and the mayor's office and the Chamber of Commerce. And so when I talked to Mr. Woodard about it, I just happened to run into him that next week, and I told him what I was thinking about doing. And I said, I really think we could all partner together and make this a countywide event. I said, we don't want one nickel from businesses. The only thing that we want is an opportunity for our students to meet them. The only thing that we will ask for them to do is to provide a door prize for our students. We don't care if it's a t-shirt from your company, just something that we can give to students for coming. So we began the process, and we decided on the committee, and the committee members are here. We had guidance counselors from the school system. We had principals. We had coordinated school health. We had people from our office. It was kind of interesting when we decided that Annette Horde would be our committee chair. So when Annette Nesbitt Horde and Mayor Nesbitt get in the same meeting, it gets a little hairy sometimes, but we had a good time. We had 35 businesses participate at some point in the 2 days, and 26 post-secondary institutions and military branches. And those were a combination. That first day, right after we began planning this, is when the mine closed. And so we decided that the first day we would leave our fair up, open to the public for any displaced workers that were still displaced when we had this in March, that still may want to come and talk to people, employers or post-secondary institution or non-traditional students. And we felt like that was successful too. We didn't have as much attendance as we had hoped for, but it still was an opportunity for displaced workers to meet with employers. Our students, every single student in grades 7th through 12th grade that were in attendance that day, unless they got in trouble before they left their school. I think we had one student who was mouthy to his teacher and got to stay at school. But other than that, every student in the district in grades 7 through 12 at some point during the day and a half came and went through the career fair. It was approximately 1,400 students. The students had vendor time, and then they had 2 classes. And we met and strategically planned for that grade what was important for those students to know at the grade level that they are. And when we started talking about, yes, they'll do this career day 6 times, but I'm raising 3 children. It will probably take them all 6 times. It'll take them 6 times to hear it before they really get it. So we felt like even though those kids will come every year, they may meet somebody different next year. They may change their mind. I'm sitting at the table with the hospital, and my daughter has been pre-med her whole life. I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a doctor. She came here that day, she met with the School of Engineering at Tennessee Tech, and now she's torn the year before her senior year about whether she wants to be an engineer or pre-med. So it was a very eye-opening experience for lots of students, and we did a survey, post-career day survey. We sent one to the students, one to the teachers, and one to industry, and we got excellent feedback. Lots and lots of good ideas. We even had students to put, next year will you have a pre-K teacher, or next year will you have this kind of person, or I enjoy talking to this person, or I didn't realize an 8th grader put on their survey. Annette and I had this conversation. An 8th grader put on the survey, I didn't realize that my grades in high school, I thought my grades in high school determined high school, not my ACT, college, not my ACT score. So it was very good for 7th and 8th graders to know in 7th and 8th grade the next 4 years are important for your college career as well. We also wanted to provide students with information that they needed to work for you. If they come to work for you in in industry, Mr. Walter Glenn is here, and I worked for him when I was in college. That was my summer job, and I'll never forget what my daddy said the first day. He said, "I don't care what Walter Glenn Birdwell tells you to do, you better do it and not ask a question." And that was it. And I was like, "Yes, sir," you know. But so many of our students are not really hearing that at home, and it's up to us to provide in those opportunities for them. And we felt like this was an excellent day. We plan to do it again next year. Our largest problem was we did not have enough space. We had vendors to keep sending in their paperwork, and Annette was like, "I can't take them." And we didn't have space to put them. We are debating next year. It was kind of a last minute thrown together this year and was very successful, but we think that it may be better for the school system and for our students if we have it in the fall, where those students have all of the fall and early spring to make decisions. In March, it's a little late for most students to start making decisions about post-secondary. So we may change to the fall, we're not sure, but we plan to continue this every year and hope that it continues to get even bigger. And if you were a part of our career day, I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. We had students that left, and that was kind of the goal. I said, oh, okay, you're scrolling very good. I said to the committee at one point, I said, I don't want them to leave with anything except information about life after high school, and I want it to be an experience that they enjoy doing. I don't want it to feel like an assignment. One of our guidance counselors, we have a guidance counselor that travels to 4 elementary schools and the 4 small schools, and she had given her 7th and 8th graders a list of 5 questions. They had to choose 3 different careers or career paths or colleges, and they had a list of 5 questions that they had to go and ask people, and then in the next class assignment that they had with her, they had to write about what they found out. And it was a great opportunity for my son did it because he's in the 8th grade, and he was, you know, writing down the answers to his questions, and it was just a wonderful day, and we hope that it just continues to grow.
Wow, that was a good meeting, wasn't it, Ashley?
Sure was.
Yeah, do you remember some of the things they talked about? There were several things.
We talked about tourism in Smith County. Mayor Nesbitt gave an update. We talked about the career day. It was a great chamber banquet this year.
Yeah, and what I liked about it most, the tourism part of it, not only Smith County, but all the surrounding counties, we got a great future ahead of us just in the tourism department, I think.
We sure do. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so anyway, we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next month. We'll be going somewhere, one of the businesses, or we'll be seeing somebody around the county. Who knows? Maybe Ashley will come back and be with us again.
Never know.
All right. Thank you much.